Brand new this morning, our I-Team is back with another investigation about guardianship abuse in Florida.
Yeah, state officials have even cited the I-Team's work as they try to reform the system. The goal is to care for the elderly and disabled and their money. But too often, the arrangements bring in problems, not solutions.
Big, confounding problems. One of the common themes in these stories, too, is the isolation wards experience once a guardian gets control. I-Team reporter Danielle DeRoss is here with one woman's fight for her mother's freedom. Danielle, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you. I spoke to Christine Montanti. She tells me that she was shocked to find out how easily court-appointed guardians can cut off contact with family members and how hard it is to advocate for visitation rights.
She's the sweetest woman. She's 77 years old. She's silly, she's fun, she's very innocent, very unsuspecting.
Christine Montanti is talking about her mother, Carolyn. Despite the distance between them, Christine in Long Island, Carolyn in South Florida, the two were always close, talking on the phone at least twice a day. But that changed recently when Carolyn was placed in a guardianship.
Her rights were taken away from her. She's isolated. She was blocked from her entire family and friends. Her phone was removed from her.
It was a guardianship arrangement with special circumstances. Christine's sister, acting as power of attorney, worked with a court-appointed elder care manager to make all of her mother's decisions. They moved her mother to a nursing home in Broward County where she could not leave the facility or speak to family members without supervision. During that time, Carolyn lost contact with almost all family and friends, including her only grandchild. And the isolation took its toll. Christine shared these photos. She says they show how in just a few months, her mother appeared to age and lose a significant amount of weight.
You want to tell me what's happening with the case?
Christine reached out to attorney Ron Denman for help after hearing about his track record in freeing Floridians in abusive guardianships, many kept in isolation. Is that common, and why is that allowed?
It's common enough that I get calls all the time about this. And if there's nobody there being able to watch what's going on, there's nobody being able to report if the guardian's not doing the right thing.
It's a pattern the I-Team has found in many guardianship abuse cases. In this case, Christine says she asked the court to hear evidence to permit her visitation, but she says she was never given the chance to speak. Under Florida law, guardians should allow the ward to maintain contact with family and friends unless the guardian believes that such contact may cause harm to the ward. That, advocates say, gives the guardian too much discretion to cut off anyone and everyone, no matter who the ward wants to see. But in other states, visitation rights are being written into guardianship law. For example, in California, guardians, called conservators, are not allowed to restrict visitation unless a judge specifically orders it. In Arizona, if a guardian restricts access, an individual can petition the court for a contact order.
I'm fighting so hard because it's my mother.
Christine and attorney Denman have been fighting to not only restore access to Carolyn, they're trying to dissolve the guardianship altogether. Getting new physician evaluations, these court filings show multiple doctors have determined Carolyn does have mental capacity despite a documented disability. And this fall, they had a sudden and surprise victory. In this order, the judge made a complete reversal, finding any prior visitation or communication restrictions should be lifted, dismissing the care manager. In other words, Carolyn got her freedom back, and Christine could visit her mother again. She moved her mother from the facility in Broward to this nursing home in Royal Palm Beach, where she tells us Carolyn is thriving.
She's so happy. She has a second chance at life.
What does that feel like when you see a client suddenly get their rights back?
I don't know that I can explain that in words. I think it's true reason that, some of us become lawyers. When you can change someone's life.
And while they celebrate the recent ruling, they know this case isn't over. The family is still fighting in court over who should serve as power of attorney. Christine is afraid a guardianship arrangement could be appointed again. Christine tells me that this experience has moved her to warn others, and she wants to see major reforms, not only in Florida, but across the country. We reached out to Christine's sister, the prior care manager, and their attorneys. None of them responded to our request for comment.
So, Danielle, if Christine's sister tries to hire another care manager, take back control of her mother's life, will it go to the same judge? You know, is it better to have the same judge on this, or maybe a new set of eyes could help?
It's a very common request. It is seldom granted. It really does take a big conflict of interest, for example, for a judge to be removed and a new one appointed. So it rarely ever happens.
What about an appellate process, Danielle?
Yeah, that's always an option, but I'm told that the difficulty there is the time that it takes. You can, of course, appeal it up all the way to the Supreme Court, but that takes years for a case to be heard and resolved. And when you have an elderly person in one of these situations, you don't always have the benefit of time.
There are so many hoops throughout this entire thing. You can see how families, feel buried under this process to try and just, help their loved ones.
Yeah, you hope shining a light on some of these problems will bring about some changes.
Absolutely. Danielle, thank you. 6:50.